I'm Fiona. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Today is Wednesday, March 9th. It is National Meatball Day.
Today's lunch menu is brunch for lunch,
Pepperoni calzone,
Italian chef salad,
variety deli sandwich or wrap,
baked apples.
and tried taters.
In national news, Facebook is trying to stream Thursday Night Football next season. The rights to stream Thursday Night Football games is sold separately from Sunday games. Many other companies such as Amazon and Verizon are trying to stream the football games too. The NFL will decide who will get to stream the game.
In Flint, Michigan, the water crisis continues after it was found that their water supply had lead in it. A family with 2 young children documented using 151 bottles of water a day. Much of a family's day is spent picking up, storing, and disposing of bottles of water along with boiling and heating water for baths because some families have experienced hair loss and rashes. The skin problems are a mystery because the lead in the water should not cause rashes.
A company called SciArc has designed a portable 3D laser scanner. It captures a 3D web model of some of Earth's major historical sites to preserve them in case of an attack. The laser sends a beam of light pulsing at 50,000 times per second. The laser is hoping to save the most sacred sites from being forgotten by the public.
And Adam Mackay with his sports and weather update.
A low of 50. Sports facts. Fishing is the biggest participation sport in the world. Sports news. Today at 6 o'clock, swim team has a meet against Fall Creek Valley at Lawrence North. Tonight, the softball meeting will take place in the LGI room at 4. Tomorrow night is the Winter Athletic Awards at 6 o'clock. Tomorrow will also be the 707 football meeting with Coach Peebles in the LGI room at 4 o'clock. Now back to our anchors.
Thank you, Mackay.
One more announcement from Elsie's athletic department. There will be a call-out meeting for 8th grade girls interested in volleyball. The meeting is today at Elsie at 4 o'clock in the Bear Den. Open gyms begin next week.
Attention girls interested in playing soccer next fall. You are invited to the weekly open facility workouts with the LC coaching staff. They are Thursdays at 8 p.m. at LC. Sign up outside the athletic office each week. Students in Warner Sport must wait until the season ends to attend.
The Alpha Mu Omega sorority chapter is currently looking for 6th through 8th grade participants in their educational and mentoring program called Rose Petals. If you have a C+ average or better and are interested, complete an online application at www.acamo.org.
Today during lunches, any student new to Belzer can have a picture taken in the Bruin stem for the yearbook. This photo op is for students who have come to Belzer anytime after November 1st. The yearbook staff wants to include you in the book, so plan on getting your picture taken then.
It is Pennies for Patients time. Collect that change to benefit the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Here is some information about these diseases.
Lymphoma and myeloma are blood cancers associated with abnormal blood cells.
I'm Michelle Ryan. This is my daughter Annie.
I'm Jordan Vargas, 15 years old.
Michelle and I got married in 1995.
And I go to Bronx High School of Science.
We have 4 kids, typical type Irish family.
I'm basically the same kid as anybody else. I like to go outside and play with my brothers and my sister.
Annie is a pretty tough kid.
A lot of people say she's cute.
My son has always been active.
He's really funny.
She's a good sister.
You know, he's a smart kid.
She likes to play on her bike. Jordan's weird and suspicious to me.
It started probably the end of June. We were getting ready for the summertime and everything, and Annie was feeling a little bit tired, having some leg cramping.
When I was in 7th grade, things started to get a little difficult. I found it hard to walk upstairs.
He had fallen down in school.
I felt that there was something going on there.
Yeah, we brought her in for a full physical, said everything looked great.
And we kind of like told the doctor, look, we want a blood test.
My wife took him to the doctor and she said, run whatever test you have to run.
So we didn't think nothing of it.
We got a phone call 2 days later.
You need to call this woman, set an appointment up, they know you're coming.
That was the day, July 17th.
And they told us he had leukemia.
I found out that I had leukemia.
I remember feeling cancer.
We didn't think it was leukemia.
No way this is happening.
I was shocked.
We were normal parents, and suddenly this happened and changed our whole world.
They did a lot of procedures in the very beginning.
I had to stay in the hospital for surgeries and a whole bunch of testing on my blood.
A lot of bone marrow samples, a lot of spinal taps.
They put a port in my chest, and that's where they started giving me chemo through.
The biggest thing is we have to make sure Annie gets the medication that she's on that day.
It's hard, to know that you have to wake up every morning and remember you have to drink your meds.
1 week it's 1.5 pills of this 3 times a week, but not on Fridays, only Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But then also she needs 2 pills of this, and 1 at night, 1.5 in the day. It's,
It makes me feel sick.
her legs hurt, her head hurt.
I don't like to stay home and be sick.
Yeah, it was a long haul in the beginning, but
It's gotten easier as I've gotten farther.
I can't tell you how difficult it would be if we didn't have the support.
It's very important to get involved.
the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society was probably among the best of them.
It gives them the extra push to move on.
Love is everybody in the family coming together to support each other.
Because of all this, me and him have been closer than ever.
Seeing each of my children do miraculous things, including being right there while she was undergoing chemotherapy.
My relationship with my son, became closer.
How much my family cares about me.
She never wondered why her.
My personality was suited to that.
She just thought this is something she needs to do to get to the next place.
He's pulling through. He's a trooper.
She's been really a very brave little girl.
It kind of puts your life into perspective.
Any student on the honor roll is invited to attend a field trip to Ball State later this month. Information was sent to you through Canvas. Log in to get the application or talk to your college prep teacher.
Elite Gaming Live Club will be meeting on the following dates: March 15th, April 7th, and April 19th. This is for people who have signed up for the club.
Interesting fact, newborn kangaroo is small enough to fit in a teaspoon.
On this day in history, in 1959, Barbie makes her debut.
Riddle of the day. What do you get when you cross a hamburger and a computer?
I don't know, what?
A Big Mac.
Quote of the day. If 2 wrongs don't make a right, try 3. By Lawrence J. Peter.
Now to Mr. Hirsch with the rest of your morning announcements.
Have a great day,
Bruins.
Good morning, students. I just wanted to take this morning to talk about 2 concerns that I've kind of noticed over about the last week of school and share those with you. The first, every morning, whenever I get the opportunity, if I'm not in a meeting or held up somewhere else, I try to stand right at the front of the building and welcome students as they come into the building. And I've been noticing a lot more students with hats and hoods on. And I understand when you're outside, especially like a cold, rainy morning like it was today, that's completely appropriate. But remember, please, when you come inside the building, to take your hat and your hood off, and it should remain off for the remainder of the day. So I should not see students throughout the course of the day with a hat on their head or with their hood up. And I always feel like I need to make sure that I am able to explain why that's a rule if we expect students to cooperate and follow that rule. So the first of all and foremost is it's a safety issue. I need to make sure that we can recognize you when we're trying to talk to you. If you have your hood up, sometimes it's hard to see who you are. Same thing with a hat. So that's number one. Second reason, as many of you know, and this may be a little bit of a stretch, but some particular hats or logos or colors can be representing a group or a gang, and obviously we don't want any of that here at Belzer and can't allow that. And thirdly, I would just want you to think about it's really an act of reverence or respect when you remove your hat or your hood. If you think about when adults are asked when they enter church, when they enter a library, when they enter a courthouse, any of those kind of places, they are asked to remove their hats, and it's really just a little bit of reverence and respect for the location that you're in, and we want you to have that reverence here at school. So those are our basic 3 reasons, and again, I just want to reinforce to students the expectation is it's fine if you wear it to school or at the end of the day as you're leaving school, but during the school day, once you enter the building, those hats and hoods need to be off. Questions? The second thing I want to talk about is the cafeteria. I'd say over the last 5 or 6 school days, I've made it a point during lunch periods to stroll through the cafeteria, have some conversations with our counselors and administrators that are in there and our PSOs. And I want to commend particularly our 8th graders. I know in the 8th grade year, sometimes students tend to mature a little bit and tend to settle down a little bit. But I have been very impressed with C and D lunches. The fact that the students have come in, they get in line and get their food, they sit down, they enjoy that 30 minutes of eating lunch with their friends, they socialize, but for the most part, they keep their voice level down, they remain seated, and I've just been very impressed with the way that they've handled themselves. I have been a little bit concerned with A and B lunch, so 7th graders, please make sure that you listen up. I want to just reinforce a couple of the expectations that we have for you during lunch period so that we're very clear. First and foremost, all students should enter the cafeteria through our main hallway, which is actually the west end of the building. If you're not familiar with your directions, again, that's the main hallway out there in that main stretch across from student services. So that's where everybody should enter. And then everybody should exit out the east end, which is the back of the cafeteria, as your teachers come and pick you up from lunch. So please make sure that you remember that. The west end is the entrance, the east end is the exit. Also, during lunch, it's very important, guys. We have over 300 students in some of those lunches. It's very important that you remain seated. We want you to talk with your friends. We want you to laugh. We want you to socialize during that time. But you've got to do so in a respectful manner, and you've got to remain seated. It's just an unsafe situation if we have too many people walking around. So after you get your lunch, remember the expectation is to go back in your assigned row and your assigned seat and stay seated. If you need to use the restroom, if you need to go to A105, if you have some other issue that you need to take care of during lunch, you raise your hand, just like you would in class. Mr. Connors, one of the PSOs, or one of the other administrators or counselors in there will come over and find out what you need, and they can help give you permission or tell you that now is not a good time. And then the third and final thing is just the volume level. Again, we expect you to socialize and have a good time when you're in there. Talk to your friends, but we need to make sure that that voice level remains appropriate for indoors. There should not be any screaming or yelling across the cafeteria because we want to make sure that we maintain order in there to keep things safe and also so that you can hear announcements when Mr. Connors gets on that microphone. So that's it for today. I just wanted to give you a couple of those reminders about our hoods and hats and also our expectations for the cafeteria, primarily in A and B lunch. So students, I'll be stopping through 7th graders, especially during A and B lunch this week and into next week to check on those behaviors. So I appreciate your cooperation. That's it for today. Have a great Wednesday.